Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. A term we hear so often is stand on business. And as a woman who has definitely seen myself crash out, act a fool, and not do the right things to preserve my peace and integrity, I want to share with you guys today how I have bettered myself to become someone who stands on business with ease. With the desire to want to live a good life, you have to relinquish control in some areas. When you fixate too much on something, or when you try to mold people, places, and things so much into your life, you completely lose your autonomy, your integrity, and all the things that you're meant to receive. I have learned that in those actions, you get nothing. You waste your time and you waste your energy. You can actually have the world at your fingertips when you stand on business, create boundaries, create a different level of self-esteem and self-respect, and when you have some sort of unshakable confidence. You are not asking for too much when you want someone to live up to the standard that you live up to every single day. When you stand on business with your life, it affects your money, it affects your career, it affects your happiness, it affects your peace, it affects who you end up with, who you befriend, and the things that happen for you in life. So I really want to help you master the art of standing on business and growing up and relinquishing that obsession and control that leads to a chaotic episode or a crash out. I used to think eating healthy meant overly restricting myself and just constantly counting my calories and obsessing over certain foods. And to be honest with you, it's just not sustainable. And that particular mindset just causes more harm than good, at least in my life. When I got reached out to work with Nourish, I got so excited because I feel like this is a great way to introduce some healthy living and some wellness into my channel that I think would really benefit a lot of you guys. So essentially, Nourish is a platform that connects you with a registered dietitian that you can actually have covered by your insurance. That's right, 94% of patients do not pay out of pocket. Now, because I'm a student of life and I'm constantly trying to get better, I was actually really excited to check out this platform and to see how I can nourish my body better. So I went through the motions of signing up and getting an appointment with a dietitian, and we talked all things intuitive eating and nourishing the body, and it definitely gave me a different outlook on how I should be navigating my journey a little bit better. There is nothing like healing your relationship with food and diet and exercise and just cultivating the best habit for you, and that's what Nourish does. So you guys can actually book your first appointment in under 5 minutes. I will leave my link in the description box and on the screen for you guys to check out Nourish today. Thank you, Nourish, for sponsoring today's video and for helping women like me build a healthier, more empowered life. And by the way, I am not judging you. I am a Cancer. Not only that, but I am a Jersey Italian Black woman. I am passionate, I am driven, I am ambitious, I am outspoken, and I tend to be very good with my words. That being said, I've had to learn the power of silence, the power of taking and calling back in my energy and doing things that best serve my future self and not my current situation. Okay, the first way to really stand on business as a woman, and this will save you so much heartache, so much issue, and it will preserve a lot of your energy. And it's to cut things off early. You know, in the early stages of dating or meeting someone, whether it's a friend or you started at a job that gives you like weird energy, or you started dating a guy and you notice that there's just this intuitive feeling within you that says, this person's not good for me, this situation isn't good for me, this is beneath who I am, and it's just not serving me. But you're constantly met with people who will tell you, see it through. Continue and figure it out. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe your intuition isn't right. And then you fight your way through that feeling and you continue down a road that allows you to continuously be disrespected, to continuously show up for yourself in a way where you're actually not getting your needs met. And then you waste your time, your energy, and you could possibly get yourself in a situation that is horrible. It is totally okay to have a gut feeling about something and not want it. I have gotten so much better at this as I've gotten older. The more people I meet, the more situations I get myself in, and the more that I date and just experience life, the more I can see what is not for me early versus when I was younger. When I was younger, I didn't really know what was good for me. You start to get better at discerning those things early on. Once you notice that it's not good, whether it's on day 1, day 15, day 30, cut it off. No explanation needed. You deserve to stand on business with your life and respect yourself enough to walk away from things that are not good for you. And the earlier that you cut something that isn't good for you, you're actually going to have a lot less emotion tied to the experience. This kind of goes into my next point, which is that if it doesn't align, it's just not the time. And I'm really big on this. Alignment is key in your grown woman era, in becoming her, in becoming the woman that you've always desired. Understanding that somebody aligning with your life down to their morals, their values, their standards, their boundaries, how they fit into your life, it all matters. It's all important. Don't let people tell you that it's unimportant to feel these things, to understand these things, and to want these things. You need to start getting better at proving to yourself that when you don't want something, you stand on business and you show it to yourself by leaving, by saying maybe later, because you are teaching yourself that you know how to make decisions based on what is best for you. The third way to stand on business as a woman, and this is going to make it easier for you to do so, is to bury yourself in hobbies, in activities, and in experiences that help you grow, prosper, and live a better, more luxurious life. When you are someone who immerses yourself in things that allow you to grow, to deepen your self-worth, to have better integrity, you actually don't want to entertain things that force you to get out of character, that force you to reorganize your schedule. Because listen, at the end of the day, a lot of people that refuse to stand on business or that negotiate their worth with people tend to have a little bit too much free time to do so. If you bury yourself in things that keep you interesting, that keep you working, that keep you ambitious, that keep you open-minded, you're not going to want to just allow anybody into that orbit. You're too busy to be stressed, to be confused, and to feel unworthy. So the more that you deepen your self-worth and you're growing yourself so much in a way where you're becoming so rooted in a deeper sense of self, you're just not going to struggle to say, I don't want to fucking deal with you. I don't want to deal with somebody who is making me mess up, who's making me reconsider things in my life, because I know what makes me happy. That when you actually become so happy in all of your purpose, you know what doesn't make you happy. There's no confusion in what am I feeling? Is this real? Am I, being disrespected? You'll just know because you're going to be so rooted in things that make you happy that you'll know what isn't. Now, I know everyone says this, but it's so real. Less expectations, but higher standards. Start living up to the standard that you expect. I don't feel like my standards are too high because the standards that I want in a person, I live every single day of my life. So I don't necessarily put this immense pressure on people where they feel like they have to. People put that pressure on themselves regardless. When you start to level up and you grow and you prosper and you become a person who has incredible autonomy, incredible independence, and you're just someone who is actually fucking interesting, a lot of uninteresting, lazy people tend to try to find a way to either A, count themselves out early, or they cling to that and hope that they can lessen your self-worth by telling you that you don't matter or making you feel unworthy. Do not allow yourself to take the bait. It's a test to see, are you really that rooted in yourself that you know that I'm manipulating you into thinking you're not that great? And I know that not everything is really that deep, but it is. Having certain people in your life can make or break a beautiful future for yourself. And you need to really look at things like that. You need to nurture the people who love you the way that you want to be loved. And stop loving people so deeply who don't love you correctly. It's not fair to yourself, and it's not fair to all of the things that you want to embody and embrace in your life. Be someone who has non-negotiables. Live up to the standard that you have set out every single day. You will know based off of how they choose to live, how they embrace certain things, how they handle conflict, how they communicate. You'll just notice it because how you do anything is how you do everything. So I'm a big believer in just taking a step back, seeing who is your match, whether it's a friend, a man that you're going to date, or even just a job that you're going to take. Are these things aligning with your best self? And does it feel like you are going to learn from this experience in a healthy way? And is it going to be mutually beneficial? Now, in communication, you really need to understand that standing on business means to stop over-explaining yourself to an adult who knows exactly what you're doing and exactly what they're doing. You need to learn to stop over-communicating, over-analyzing, over-explaining to someone who actually isn't stupid. They're not stupid. They're choosing not to listen. You are speaking to the wrong audience half the time. And it's really difficult to stand on business when you're constantly trying to negotiate your worth with people. You're trying to convince someone whether they should like you, respect you, treat you right, whatever it is that you're trying to over explain to someone, when you can actually spend that time meeting someone who just gets that and understands that because they understand the meaning of respect, loyalty, friendship, relationships, and nurturing things that matter. So when you are over dissecting things, over explaining yourself, you're taking away a lot of your power because you're telling people, well, I'm not going to put up with this and I'm not going to put up with that. And they are already able to see that you are putting up with it because you're saying it. People who genuinely don't put up with things just leave. They just don't deal with it. They don't put up with it. But someone who is trying to convince themselves that they're not putting up with things usually tends to send that lengthy paragraph, to over explain themselves, to answer that blocked call, who is always kind of sticking around to see, is this person going to change? Is this person going to hear me? Let people change privately. If they come back into your life during a good time and you're able to meet that person where they're at and not invest so much energy and time, and you can see over due time that they have changed, that they have bettered themselves, then fine. But stop trying to get people to change before your eyes by over dissecting, over explaining. They know what they're doing wrong majority of the time. You have to be able to read between the lines. A lot of people apologize for things before they're about to do them. And you have to really listen to them when they do that. You really need to learn how to say less. And I know that sounds really difficult to do, but the less you say, the more you can see. You can see how somebody is going to treat you, how somebody's going to act when you let them kind of dig their own grave. They're going to speak, they're going to say things, they're going to show things in their body language. They are going to essentially hang themselves. And you have to be willing to see it, understand it, discern it, and then figure out what you're going to do about it. So having this long-winded response to majority of things is a waste of your time, a waste of your energy, and a waste of your power. You can use that for so many other things rather than trying to convince someone that you're great, that you're meant to be seen, that you're meant to be respected. Like I said, go towards things that are more respectful. Go towards things that actually value you. Now, it's really important that you create an abundant mindset around dating, life experiences, meeting new people, and just getting out there in the world. When you do that, you actually create a really beautiful energy bubble around your life. Yes, you're going to meet people who are going to try to take advantage of you, who are going to try to swindle their way into your life, but you're going to meet more good than you are bad when you're abundant, because it allows you to stand on business about most things, right? Because when you're standing on business, you're essentially saying, this is not for me. I need to show myself and that person, I'm not having it. I'm not going for that. And the only way to prove that is by knowing that something better is coming. So when you have an abundant mindset, it's easier to create that reality for yourself, that you're sitting on a bus bench, and although you might have missed the first bus, the next one is coming very shortly. That's how you need to view your life. You're not losing out. Well, if I don't try to work it out, or if I don't try to negotiate, or if I don't try to do X, Y, and Z, then I'm not going to have that thing. That is so untrue. You need to be more patient with your fate. You need to be more patient with your blessings. When you sit back and allow things to just develop over time, you actually save yourself so much more and create that reality in your life right now. Whatever it is that you want, how can you create that in your own life? If it's love, how can you bring more love into your life? You can love yourself deeper. You can make your home really beautiful. You can cook. You can give things to your friends. You can nurture the relationships that you already have. You don't need to sit around and wait with your arms crossed, hoping that it's going to come to you soon, rather than just creating it in your life right now. People will naturally shrink your dreams, your goals, your ambitions in hopes that you're going to sell yourself short. Don't believe them. Let them be wrong, okay? If you're someone who allows people to do that to you, you're going to constantly sell yourself so short. It's always like that one guy that you dated that's like, oh, you're never going to find another me. Honey, I found another you 15 times, and honestly, I don't want to meet another you. So you're absolutely right, sweetheart. Another way to stand on business is to be very observant. Pay attention to things like passive-aggressive comments, or when somebody is belittling you or making you feel weird about yourself. If somebody is not valuing you as a human being and is not respecting you, look at that as a sign to walk away. When you stand on business with your life, it's your way of saying, I will not be spoken to any type of way. I won't be treated like shit. And I won't allow someone to make me feel unworthy just because that's how they joke or communicate, or they think that that type of behavior is okay. I don't care what you think is okay. That's totally great for you. I hope that works for you. It doesn't work for me. You don't have to accept something just because somebody else is trying to normalize it. Learn to say, hey, I don't like that. That's not normal, and walk away. That's a great way to stand on business. Find those red flags, even find those beige flags early on and say, I don't really like when that person jokes about my appearance or they say not nice things about my friends or my family. That is a sign that things are going to get progressively worse down the line. Covert narcissists are extremely common, and they tend to really try to break you down as a person. So it sometimes takes time to analyze someone's character, their integrity, their loyalty, how they show up. Give yourself the space and the time to do that. You're not always going to be discerning right off the bat and know something right off the bat. A lot of people are good at mirroring you and masking themselves and creating a false reality, but in time, the mask ends up falling and the reality becomes what it actually is. So just give yourself the time and the space to analyze people and to figure out if what they're doing is genuine and pure and not just trying to get you in their trap. And that is something that just takes coming in contact with so many not great people. I have met so many people who I thought were wonderful human beings, and I ended up realizing that they are not who I thought they were. And I was okay in the end accepting that and moving on with my life. Standing on business is realizing that when somebody shows you who they really are in the end, to believe that version of them, and that the early version of them is a facade. It was a mask. It was not who they were. A lot of the times when we are struggling to stand on business, it's because we're trying to get the good version of that person back. That was not who they are. Do you like what you are being presented right now? And if the answer is no, leave it alone. You have to learn to accept the reality of things and to not be so obsessed with what somebody showed you that wasn't real. Take it as a compliment. That person felt like they needed to put on a facade and a show to get you to like them because they knew that they were not interesting enough and they weren't attractive enough, or they didn't have the life that you would have actually wanted to be with. So they had to just create a false sense of reality to get you to be interested in them. And once all that chaos and that lie just really lifts, what is left of them is just a very uninteresting, boring, and useless person in your life. A lot of the times, a lot of these people are just not able to measure up to even half of the person that you are. They're just not good, and you want good in your energy field if you level up as a woman. And that kind of goes into my next point, which is to be a good person, because the more of a good person you are, the easier it actually gets to stand on business when you meet not so great people. Being a good person to people has changed my life in a completely different way, and I've looked at it differently. When I was younger, I used to think that being a good person meant that I was going to get walked all over. It meant that I was going to be disrespected, and at times it can. But there's a difference between being a nice person and a good person. I don't like to be nice because that welcomes a very interesting, energetic field from a person that likes to use others. But as someone who has mastered the art of having a little bit more reservations when meeting people and letting people show me who they are while still just being a good person, it has allowed me to walk away with ease, because I know that them losing me is really sad for them. It's a sad day in their life when they don't get to tap into my thoughts, my emotions, my body, whatever it is that I am giving them for whatever time period it was. They don't get to have access to it anymore. And that feels really good when you're a good person. The more of a good person you are, the more good people you attract, and the easier it is to say no to things that are disrespectful. Because when you start to act out, crash out, behave poorly, you start to lose sight of the actual reason for your behavior all along. You thought it was to land that person, but now you have completely become a version of yourself that you hate. It's a version of yourself where you are being erratic, where you're living beneath your own values and your own morality, and then you're chasing a feeling or a person that never deserved you in the first place. Let people lose you. The more you let people lose you, the more that you'll get to embrace and experience people who have always been able to keep up and who have always been worthy of being with you. You know that saying, like, if it's not fucking you, if it's not feeding you, and it's not paying your bills, leave it alone? This is a very similar mindset that I want to stress in standing on business. If it's not getting you paid and it's not benefiting your life, let it go. A lot of the times you are wasting your time and your energy, your emotions, and all of your thinking space on people who have never actually created any type of beneficial moment in your life. They have not invested in you. And by the way, I don't necessarily mean always money, but there are people who have not even catered to you in the way that you deserve on a baseline level, on like a very bare minimum level. They're not asking you out. They are not calling you at proper times. They're not getting to know you deeply. They're not investing any type of time, energy, or money into you. Yet here you are, letting them take any type of space in your mind and in your life. It makes no sense. Learn to go towards things that only benefit your life. It's so much easier to stand on business when you always ask yourself mentally before you do something, what is the reward for me doing this? And I know that it sounds a little selfish, but that's life. And a lot of the times, our opposite sex, they tend to do only things that benefit them. They live a life that is so selfish and so self-focused that it takes a lot of healing and unlearning to master that as a woman and learn from them. Learn from men. They live for themselves. And those who don't are fucking miserable. They will drive your life into the goddamn ground. Men that hate their life, that have not lived up to their potential, who don't like themselves, who don't like whatever outcome has happened for them, will ruin your life. And the ones who are living unapologetically, they really put themselves first. Learn to do the same. Put yourself first. Always ask yourself, what is the benefit? How is this person investing in me? And until there is some significant investment, why are you allowing it to take any energy, any thought, any emotion out of you? You've already lost if you've allowed somebody to do that to you. You've lost if you sit around and you think, oh my God, what is he thinking? Is he gonna call me? Is he gonna text me? Out of sight, out of mind. This person has not done anything for you yet. Let them earn you. Let them show you, hey, this is a person worth even thinking about. Until then, think of no one and put yourself first, okay? Work in careers where you benefit. Be in environments where you radiating a certain level of feminine energy or an aura gets you paid, gets you recognized, gets you experiences. When you actually utilize your feminine energy correctly, you stop giving it to people who don't appreciate it. You stop allowing people to take years off of your life and take your confidence away and your self-esteem because you're constantly allowing people who are not investing in you to experience you. It's not fair to yourself, it's not fair to your future, and it's not fair to the duration of time that you are wasting on that said person or that said thing. Learn to go towards things that actually benefit you. This is why I always respect women who work in certain fields where they are making money from being a people person or from being beautiful, because at least they are allowing something that people choose to steal from you or experience from you for free. They are not giving that out for free. So learn to be someone who charges to experience you. And not always is it a money thing, but it's an investment thing. Sometimes you have to let people be a fan and keep it pushing. A lot of the times we are allowing our fans in our lives. It's the weirdest thing. And even someone like me who has the type of career that I have, I was so naive to the fact that I would meet people who would put on a show, put on a front because they wanted to see, like, is she really like that? Does she really live that life? Is she really someone that like is exactly what it is that we see online? And they perform, they behave bizarre, they mirror you, they try to give you exactly what it is that you want. And then you realize later on that they're not that person. And it's so weird and disheartening and disappointing. I have learned to not be super disappointed anymore when people are not that great, because that's normal. Most people don't have their dream body, their dream career, their dream friend circle, their dream job. And if you have all of those things, you are a threat. You're a threat. Let people be a fan and keep it pushing. Don't give them ammo. Don't let them into your energetic space. Don't let them waste your time. And don't let them think that you're stupid enough to allow them to penetrate your aura in any way, shape, or form. Let them be a fan and keep it pushing and stand on business. And mean it when you say that you're going to disappear. A lot of people don't know how to disappear properly because they'll answer a blocked call or they'll answer a certain text, or after one very mediocre, grandiose action, they'll take a person back. That is not standing on business. Standing on business is saying, I want complete 180 change behavior. I need time and space to think. I need to preserve myself. I need to get my life back. I need to fuel myself with good things. And if you really are a good person, I will see that in due time after all is said and done. But somebody doing one grandiose thing here and there, it's really not sustainable. It's not someone you want. You have to learn to disappear and mean it, and stop over explaining it. Stop selling it. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Just do it. And the final way to really stand on business successfully is to not make them the enemy in your head. Just make them be someone that has never even existed in your life at all. When I thought about how I can live a happier, more peaceful life after dealing with very treacherous, disgusting people, I realized that they were still taking up a huge chunk of my life when I was constantly thinking about all the things that they've done wrong to me. I rather just swallow my pride, realize I was dealing with a person that is incapable of being good, and keep it pushing. And then when I am in society, when I do run into them, they don't exist to me. They don't exist in my life. A lot of people will go out of their way and do very grandiose, obnoxious things just to get you to see them. They'll date again. They'll rub things into your face. They'll be someone who is trying to get a reaction out of you. Give them nothing. Make them realize that being with them was never a flex. You never actually got anything out of it. And if anything, you're happy that they've moved on to their next victim because you no longer have to suffer. You no longer have to be in the orbit of an idiot, of a person who disrespected you, and of a person who just isn't good enough. I no longer allow people to think that they've gotten me. You didn't get shit. You didn't get me. You thought you did because it was funny to you. Like, oh my God, this really confident, beautiful woman like gave me the time of day. I did, and now I don't. And now you're nothing. So now what? Don't let people feel a sense of importance in your life. When you show them that they are, you've already lost, okay? I actually experienced something really recently, and I'll kind of close out with this particular story time. I was out and about with a girlfriend and we were just kind of hanging out. And there was a woman that I noticed was like having this like buck up nasty energy towards me. And I do not know who this person is. And in the past, I used to be very confrontational. I would say like, what are you looking at? What's your issue? Once I realized that she was doing that to get a reaction out of me, I actually kept looking through her like as if she wasn't even there. So like there was a moment where I was looking at something and she was looking directly at me and she was in my line of vision and I looked through her. I did not allow her to think that I even saw her, that I even noticed her, because a lot of people will try to fill their own ego by projecting their own insecurities by saying, if I put myself in their orbit, that it will get a reaction out of them and then I can get what I want. You're getting nothing from me. You're getting nothing. You're not important and your behavior is trifling. Period. End of story. And that felt really good to me because I think in the past I used to be very argumentative, very confrontational, and it got me nowhere. It got me literally nowhere. There are certain people that want to be seen by you so fucking bad. Don't see them. Ignore them. Okay, guys, I really enjoyed this video so much. I think that standing on business is a beautiful way to really practice the art of self-love and learning to actually be someone who actually can build a beautiful life for yourself and have people around you that you want to have around you. I think that this is a great way to just have a little bit more autonomy over your life and create a different level of self-importance. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this and you're able to stop dealing with people who make you feel like you have to perform out of pocket to get them to see you. You're better than that. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone. Mwah.